G'day, we're back with another installation. This time we're working on a 2003 to 2007 Scion XB. We're going to be replacing out the OEM fog lights with a set of our fog lights, and we're going to save you some money in the process. Now there's a bit of an install because we got to take the OEM off, we've got to reinstall our new one, and we've got to install a new switch in the interior of the car. So let's get into it. We'll start by removing the OEM front bumper to install the new fog lights. But there is a quicker way through the wheel well. That involves removing a couple of screws from the fender liner so we can easily access the light connections on the inside. These are the two screws to remove, and we have plenty of room underneath to reach our arm in. If you have a fog light already installed, go ahead and unclip for the quick install. With the fender liner loose, we can carefully take it out. But we're going to focus on the longer way that involves removing the OEM front bumper. We'll start underneath the Scion XB by removing these 8 bolts. A power tool with the right attachment comes in really handy for this part. Make quick work of those bolts and we can loosen the fender liners and the wheel wells. With the underguard and fender liners loose, we can now remove the front grille. There are 3 clips on top to remove as shown. Grab a tool and get them sorted. The front grille will now easily slide out. This gives us the access to remove the next 2 bolts on top of the OEM front bumper. The last bolts to remove on each side are in the wheel well. Be sure to remove just the bottom bolts as shown. Now we can carefully start to shimmy out the OEM front bumper from each side. Really take your time here, and a mate will come in handy for completely removing the OEM front bumper. Before you do that though, make sure you disconnect the light connections if you have pre-existing fog lights. With those connections loose, go ahead and remove that bumper. Now we're ready to install the new fog lights from our workbench. Grab some pliers to loosen the 2 mounting tabs. Simply squeeze in on each side and push forward on each of the points to pop the light out. There is a loose point on the other side that forces the light to align correctly. Repeat this process on the other side and you'll be ready for the new fog lights. Our fog lights are the same as the OEM fog lights, with the same connections on the back. Simply slide the new fog lights into place as shown. Pull in and retighten the 2 mounting tabs. Make sure they lock back into place. Again, repeat on the other side. If you want to change the angle of your lights, grab a Phillips head screwdriver, and you can adjust by carefully twisting the inside of the tabs. We're ready to reinstall the OEM front bumper with the new fog lights. Reconnect the light harness to the fog lights on both sides. Make sure those connections are tight and strong. Really take your time getting the alignment just right. Now it's just a case of reattaching and tightening down the OEM parts. Start with the 2 bolts on top of the bumper. When reattaching the front grille, there are 2 hooks on the bottom on each side that will need to be aligned for the best fitment. Carefully reattach the grille and push in the 3 top clips to secure it. Then it's on to the wheel wells to resecure these small screws on each side. Now we can head underneath to resecure the 8 bolts on the underguard protection. That rounds out the connections on the outside, so we can now drop the hood and head to the interior to install the new switch unit within the center dash console. To remove the panel, we need to pull out these 3 dials. Underneath 2 of the dials, there will be a couple of small screws to remove. This will loosen up the panel, but we still need a little more space for the next steps. Turn the car on and shift the clutch all the way back. We now have plenty of room to start removing the 2 pieces on the panel. Start by carefully pulling from the bottom, and then grab a wedging tool to shimmy the panel out from the top. Take your time moving across the top and eventually the panel will come loose. This will allow you to remove the bottom unit containing the connection that we need. The green connector right here on the top as shown. Detach this wiring harness and push your new switch unit into the fitted space as shown. Then plug back in the green connector. Push the bottom unit back into place and push in tight to re-secure the panels. Tighten down the 2 small clips, Push in the dials, and we are done with the center dash console. The last part of the install will be on the driver's side with the internal fuse box. Pull out this panel to reveal it. On the fuse box, we need to locate the relay for the fog lights. If your car is already equipped with fog lights, it should look like these blue relay blocks. The relay is attached to the lower wire harness, located on the side as shown. To access it, you'll need to reach behind the fuse box in order to plug in and install your fog light relay. Once the fuse box is sorted, you can reattach the panel cover and flip on your new fog lights because we are done. Congratulations, your new fog light should live on your Scion XB for many years to always light your way.